Aloha everyone, and welcome to our accepted student reception. Congratulations to all of you on your acceptance. We are so excited that you could join us here today for our virtual student reception to celebrate your accomplishments, learn more about the university, and connect with other students. My name is Kristen, and I am one of the admissions counselors here at the university. I will be here today to help guide you through the presentation. Just a few housekeeping reminders. This reception today will be webinar style, which means you can see us, but we cannot see you. The chat has been disabled, but don't worry, there will be a Q&A in the second portion of our event. You are encouraged to take screenshots or photos of my screen, and this event today will be recorded for you to watch by the end of the week. In the second portion of our event, students and parents will be split into two groups for a breakout session, so an extra device will be needed. Here is just a look at our program for today. Today's reception will be broken into 3 parts. In the first part of our reception, our Director of Admissions, Ryan Yamaguchi, will be delivering a welcome message. Afterwards, you will meet our Vice Provost of Enrollment Management, Nikki Chun, who will be delivering an aloha message. Then I will go over our warrior checklist, next steps, and important deadlines with all of you. Before we get into the second section of our event, I will talk about the structure of today's events and how to navigate to the next section. We will then have a short transition. Going into the second part, we will move into our breakout session. Our parents will join our panel of staff who will be going over updates and answering your questions, while our students will be going to a fun mixer. To participate in the breakout session, families should be ready to have 2 devices available. To end the day, we will have our expo where you'll be able to connect with majors and speak with other departments. All right, kicking off our reception this morning is Ryan Yamaguchi, our Director of Admissions, with a welcome message.
Good morning and aloha. My name is Ryan Yamaguchi. I'm the Director of Admissions here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Thank you, Kristen, for that introduction. And I am happy to see you all here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy weekend to join us for just a little bit here to learn about the University of Hawaii at Manoa. This year is our first and our first ASR of the season, admitted student reception of the season, and I thank you for being part of that first group and to see so many of you here. You know, today we are looking at possibly over 800 individuals that will be here, and we're so excited with that number and that the interest here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Today's event is a great opportunity for each of you to be able to see and talk to the amazing staff that we have here at the university, to be able to share with you what we plan to give you over the next 4 years with your experience here at the university. You know, being a local boy, I graduated from a proud alumni of Kaimuki High School. I'm twice the alumni here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I gotta say that this event is something that we didn't have in my time. I'm so happy for you folks that you can experience this, and you can experience this in a way where you will get to know the university beforehand. You'll get to know this institution that you will call home for the next 4 years, and this institution that will help you gain the experiences and the skills that you need to move on after your career here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And as you move on through life, this will be an experience that you have that's like no other. As you saw with those videos that were shown just before while we were waiting to get started here, you can see how diverse our student body is. You can see that this institution will give you something that you can't experience anywhere else. And this is the only place that you can get this type of experience here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. We can't wait for all of you to join us. I know this is just a little glimpse here. You'll get to see us, but we're going to be happy and we're excited to see you also. Come August, come the fall semester, when we open up the arms and when we see you here as part of being a part of the University of Hawaii Ohana.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us today. Next, please welcome our Vice Provost for Enrollment Management, Nikki Chun, with an aloha message.
Aloha mai kako, Kevelina. Hello, everyone, and congratulations, ho'omaka'i, on your acceptance to University of Hawaii at Manoa. My name is Nikki Chun, and I have the honor of working with admissions, financial aid, and our registrar. So at some point at your career at UH Manoa, you're going to definitely interact with our office. And so we're just excited that we might find you here in this fall. I too am a local girl from Honolulu, but I am in my 6th month starting at Manoa. So in many ways, I'm a first-year student learning about the university alongside everyone else. And I have to say that in just the short time that I've been here, every day is something new that I get to discover. And so I'm excited for what you have ahead of you. And I look forward to seeing you in the fall. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Nikki, for joining us today. We're going to switch off gears right now and talk about our next steps as an accepted student. The list that you see before you on the screen is our Warrior Checklist. Feel free to take a picture. We will also be dropping the link in the chat. Hopefully, most of you have seen this list by now, as it was sent to you in your original acceptance email and through postal mail. Fulfilling these steps will keep you on track and ready to start school with us in fall 2022. The first 5 items are things that you could be doing now. The next 5 items, or the right side of the screen, are things that you'll need to do in the next few months. Feel free to scan the QR code to watch a video later of our students walking you through the steps, but I will be going through them for you now. The first step, and probably the most important, is to create your MyUH account. In your acceptance email, you received your Hawaii student ID and the link to create your account. Creating your MyUH account will give you access to your hawaii.edu email, the ability to view for your financial aid package once that is available, register for classes, pay your tuition, and more. We encourage all accepted students to create their account, even if you have not yet paid your intent to enroll. Moving forward, all important emails from the school, including financial aid and housing, will be sent to your hawaii.edu account. Our admissions office will still continue to email your personal email, so please check both regularly so you don't miss any important information. Next, most of you have hopefully already applied for financial aid, and even some of you may have received a package. If you have, great, you can check this item off your list already. If not, there's still time to submit a FAFSA. Help finance your journey by applying for financial aid, which includes grants, scholarships, federal work study, and loans. We also have a scholarship website that we'll put in the chat for you to view. This will include local and national scholarship portals, as well as some of our internal scholarships. Many of you have already applied for our internal scholarships and should be hearing soon. Some of you have already checked the third item off your list by joining us here for a campus tour, attending the reception today, or speaking with a counselor like me, one-on-one. For those of you that are able to visit our campus in person, we would love to have you for a tour. We will also be offering in-person events on the other islands, as well as in California, that you are welcome to attend. The most important date to mark on your calendar is May 1st. This is the day when your intent to enroll or tuition deposit is due. I'll give you more information on that in just a little bit. If you are interested in living on campus, you must submit your housing application no later than May 1st. The applications are now open, so feel free to apply. There is a $25 application fee. Later on in this presentation, our housing representative, Kenny, will be here to give you more information on all things housing. Next, in the early summer, you will be emailed and asked to submit your final documents, which include your official high school transcript with your graduation date, as well as any college transcripts that you may have. Just a side note, a document is considered official only if it is sent directly by the issuing high school, college, or testing agency directly to our admissions office. In late May, if you have paid your tuition deposit, registration will open and you can create your class schedule and sign up for classes using our standard registration system called STAR GPS. We highly recommend you speak to your major advisor before registering. Luckily, since you're here today, you can meet with our advisors who will be available at the expo. Next, your health clearance is due August 1st. Students must meet the immunization requirements before they are ready to attend the University of Hawaii. For a list of required immunization and vaccines, please see your Warrior checklist or connect with our health services via their website or phone number. Number 9, tuition will be due at the end of August. The university offers a number of ways for you to pay your bill. Payments are accepted online, by mail, or in person. The university also offers you the option to pay your bill in one payment or also to create a payment plan to pay in installments. Finally, last step, we will be hosting a virtual new student orientation this summer and in-person events the week before school starts to welcome students and to help them get situated. On your screen here, you'll see a timeline of some of our important items from the checklist. You're welcome to take a picture if you'd like. May 1st, this is when your intent to enroll will be due. And again, I'll get into that next. So again, most important date, May 1st. Starting in late May, you'll be able to register for classes. In the summer, you'll be asked to submit your final documents, including your high school transcripts and transcripts from any other secondary institutions or colleges. August 1st is the deadline for your health clearance. And in the summer, we'll be offering virtual onboarding and new student orientation for new students and their families. This is not mandatory, but we highly encourage students to attend. It's a great way to familiarize yourself with the campus and to meet other students. August 16th through 19th, this is our week of welcome. This is going to coincide with our housing move-in period. All activities for this event will be in person. This will be another great opportunity to engage with other students and really familiarize yourself with the campus. More information for both of these events are going to be sent via email sometime in the summer. The tuition payment, again, that will be due August 19th. And all of that leads us to August 22nd. This will be the first day of school. Yay, first day. On that day, we will also be hosting our Valina Manoa kickoff event, which encompasses everything you need to connect yourself to campus. Okay, great news. By attending today's event, you have the opportunity to submit your commitment by completing your intent to enroll form. If you are ready to submit your intent to enroll today, great, you can scan the QR code. Our moderators will also put the link in the chat. This form will also be available at our admissions virtual front desk during the expo and emailed to you later in the week. Completion of this form using the link provided today will help you bypass the $200 deposit. Instead of having to pay that money now, it will become part of your tuition. So it'll be put on the back end of your tuition. This waiver will be valid for up to 2 weeks after the event. So, other than a commitment, what does this intent to enroll do? It will change your student status to be confirmed for fall 2022. It will also open your registration portal so that you'll be ready to register for classes in May. If you are applying for housing, the intent is needed as part of the application. It will also better assist you in your academic advising appointments with your advisor. You will have the opportunity to submit the intent to enroll also after the reception. Be on the lookout for an email in the next few days that will have that link as well. For those of you that are ready to submit your intent to enroll or who already have, thank you, congratulations. You're on your way to becoming a Rainbow Warrior. So that was just a quick overview of your next steps. Please feel free to view your Warrior checklist in your email or on our website for more details, deadlines, and contact information. We have some great things coming up for you next, so don't go anywhere. Next, we're going to split our students and parents into 2 breakout sessions. The students are going to be going again to a fun mixer, and our parents will be able to come here or stay here for a panel which includes admissions, financial aid, and housing, who will be going over important information, updates, and answering your questions. Later on today, we will be having our expo, where you'll be able to meet with the other Manoa departments and learn more about other programs we have available. We are now going to head into our breakout sessions. Parents, don't go anywhere. Please stay in this room. For For all your students, please scan the QR code on the screen with a separate device to enter our student mixer. We will also be dropping the link in the chat for that mixer. I'll wait a moment while everyone does that. Aloha, everyone. Aloha, our parents and our ohana. Welcome to the Accepted Parent Q&A breakout session. If there are any students here, feel free to still go to the mixer. The event link will also be in the chat. Just a few housekeeping reminders again. This reception will be held webinar style, which means that you can see us, but we cannot see you. All mics have been muted. The chat has been disabled, so please place all questions in the Q&A feature and make sure to upvote any questions that are similar to yours. This event today will be recorded and posted to our YouTube page by the end of the week in case you missed anything. I'd like to now introduce you folks to our wonderful panel that will be joining us today and answering your questions. Joining us today is Ryan Yamaguchi, our Director of Admissions, Abigail Huligenga Hergo, our Associate Director of Admissions, Jody Kuba, our Financial Aid Services Director, and Kenny Lopez, our Assistant Director for Residential Academic Initiatives and Assessment. Before we get into the Q&A, our panelists are going to share some important updates and information for each of their departments. I'm going to now pass this over to Ryan, our Director of Admissions, who will share some admissions and campus updates with all of you.
So good morning again, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Admitted Student Reception today, our virtual Admitted Student Reception. For admissions, it's an exciting time for us. We've had a great year this year. We've had over 20,000 applications for the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I'm happy to say that we've admitted so many students this year and gotten that information out to you. Hopefully, both the students and to you as the parents as well too have received our messages, our email messages about the University of Hawaii at Manoa and the next steps that need to be taken. I do want to assure you that the university is still continuing to move forward through the pandemic, now going into the endemic phase of the university. This spring semester, we welcomed our students back to campus. It was such a great time to see students, and as I walk around campus, I do see them at our campus center. They are using our Warrior Recreation Center. They're taking part in our athletic events as well too. With football being the first time on campus and having students actually there, it meant so much to our athletes that came out, and it was a great and exciting environment for all of our students and our fans and to the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I can say that within our campus, couple updates, we are looking at about a 60% in-person classes that we do offer. 40% are online. For the fall semester, we are going to be looking at something very similar to that, where we will have more in-person classes than online, but the online option will not go away, and there will still be online classes for students to be able to take part of. That's something that through this pandemic that we have learned that being able to offer these courses in both methods have actually helped our students to be able to be flexible with their time and to be able to successfully complete their coursework that they have here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Other campus updates, real quickly, as far as with the mandates and so forth, the University of Hawaii, we still follow and work with the State of Hawaii Health Department, the CDC, and we look at our state guidelines as far as what we will be doing for our COVID response and what we're going to be doing for our students. So right now, we still follow our rules, and if you see on our website, it's still required to wear masks indoors. We are still looking at vaccinations for our students. We are still looking at, and for those students who did not take the vaccination, we do ask that you do have a negative test that you do provide to us. And that's so far we are following those requirements. Now, I will say things can change. As we've seen through this pandemic, there has been a lot of change. And when that change happens, be assured that we will contact you. We will send you messages and updates as things change throughout the next several months before your student actually sets foot here on campus. With that, Kristen, I think I'll I could say more for the question and answers later, but we'll take the time.
Yes.
Move on.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for all those important updates regarding our campus. Next up, we have Jody Kuba, who will be sharing updates and information regarding everyone's favorite topic, financial aid.
Hi, everyone. Okay, just some information, and Krista really basically said what I was going to say. You know, you still can apply for financial aid if you haven't already done so. As far as scholarships, the university scholarship, the deadlines have typically passed, but it's not like there aren't scholarships out there. You just gotta continue to look for them for your son or daughter. So if you like to just go to our website and you can look on our scholarship page, we have a lot of suggestions of where you can still look for scholarships that might still be available. As far as for our office, if we basically communicate with the students through email and through the MyU8 services. So please tell your son or daughter to look at their hawaii.edu email so that you know, they'll see any of the messages or communications that we've sent to them. And you know, then they can go on to MyU8 services and review their status with our office. We have begun to offer aid to students as of this past week. So a lot of the students, the freshmen, have been offered aid. So you know, you should be able to see it with them on the MyU8 services. And on MyU8 services, if we still need anything from you folks, as far as outstanding requirements, that you can also see. And then, you know, then that can be taken care of so that we can offer aid as quickly as possible. But basically, just if you folks have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact our office. We do recommend our virtual front desk, which is open from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day. That's Hawaii time. And you can meet with a financial aid counselor on that site, and they can assist you through the process if you have any questions. That is really our best way. If not, you can email or call our office and we will get back to you on that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jody, for those updates. Next, Dr. Kenny Lopez will be here to share some important information from our housing office.
Awesome. Aloha and good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Kristen, for this opportunity to share information about student housing with parents and prospective students. So we can click to the next slide. And I have a few pieces up here of information for folks to go kind of through the processes of what is required in order to move on to campus in the fall. As has been mentioned, the application is live and open. When folks have committed to attending the University of Hawaii at Manoa, they may go onto our housing website to apply for housing. So there is a $25 application fee, and we do not have a living requirement. So students can opt to live off. If folks have visited our campus, they will know that we do not have apartments and residential communities around campus, similar to a lot of other schools on the continent and other places. For that reason, we strongly encourage our students to live on campus. And here are some of the benefits of why we say this. Proximity to classes and helping the adjustment to the rigors that come with being a university student. Building those connections between the curricular and the co-curricular experiences. Our job in student housing is to bridge that gap for students. So what you're learning in the classroom are very similar concepts that we will continue to do some of that teaching outside in the residence halls. There are a variety of leadership opportunities for our students on campus. We have our National Residence Hall Honorary, we have a Residence Hall Association, we have a variety of different opportunities for students to be engaged and involved when living with us on campus. It's also an opportunity to live in alongside peers from a variety of different countries and have the opportunity to really learn from your peers and colleagues in a very unique way that probably you haven't done before unless you have lived on a college campus somewhere else. We have dedicated staff for your student that will help them transition with whatever issues that may come up. We start with our front line of defense, which are our resident assistants, who are undergraduate students or graduate students, who are sophomores who go through a very rigorous, intensive process to hire and train them. It's about a month long that they know the ins and outs of our campus and will help our students really transition well. We have master's level living professionals that do live in our residence halls who will help with the day-to-day functionality of our communities. We also have a unique aspect is we also do have counselors in residence who do live on campus with us for after-hour mental health support for our students. And just as I mentioned with the curricular and co-curricular, just the opportunity to connect those academic pursuits in very different ways is something that is really, really unique about our opportunity. For example, I will share later on in the breakout about our residential learning programs and opportunity for students to live alongside other students who have similar academic interests, whether that is a college program or just a social interest as well. We offer in-house, in-hall advising, as well as after-hours tutoring for all students who choose to live on campus with us. As Ryan has mentioned, we are following all state of Hawaii, as well as Department of Health and CDC guidelines and regulations when it does come to COVID. So all students are expected to be fully vaccinated. For us, that means the 2 shots of Pfizer or Moderna, the 1 shot of Johnson & Johnson. A booster shot is not currently required, but the university could, as of today, March 5th, it's not required, but that could be something that does change. So we do obviously take health and safety very seriously on campus. As a reason why if folks do visit our campus, you will not unfortunately be able to enter our residence halls because right now we have a no outside guest policy. So Kristen, if we can go to the next slide. As Kristen has mentioned quite extensively earlier on, the housing application deadline is May 1st. Again, a very important deadline. The sooner you apply, the likelier chance you get to being placed in your first or second choice of residence hall. And you can go to our website there to apply. Move-in week. So if you are placed in the Holly Wainani Apartments or Freer Hall, your move-in day will be on that Friday, August 19th. Everyone else will be August 16th. We strongly encourage folks to please not make any sort of travel arrangements just yet until you have been contracted. Reason being, there could still be changes. Your placement can change. So we don't want folks to be scrambling last minute to make travel modifications, so on and so forth. So just wait a little bit longer. I know flights may be cheap right now, but please just hold on tight and we'll get that information out to folks as soon as we possibly can. Your student will also be required to have a move-in appointment. So we will be sending out emails. They will pick a 1-hour block where they will be able to have very individualized attention to help them in their move-in process. And our housing website is there below that can answer some of those additional questions.
Sorry, I was on mute. Thank you, Kenny, for all of those updates. And mahalo panelists for joining us today and sharing all of that important information. We will now begin our Q&A portion of the session. As a reminder, please type your questions in the Q&A box. I know a lot of you already have. We will answer in the order received and similar questions may be grouped together. Definitely make use of the upvote if you see a question that's similar to the one you want to ask, so we can answer in priority order. The answers to your questions will also be posted online at a later date. You'll receive the link for that in the event that we don't get to all the questions today. While we're answering your questions, you will see on the screen our contact information. Feel free to take a picture or make a note of it in the event that you'd like to contact any of us. Okay, first question, let's see. One student asked, can you take a few classes in the summer and still be considered a fall 2022 student?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take that. Yes, you can. If you are confirmed student for fall 2022, you can take some summer courses through what is called Outreach College. If you are in high school, like an incoming freshman, good news is that at the expo today, so right after this session, there is a booth called Summer Sessions through Outreach, and you can get more information from them about some summer school courses that you can take. But definitely that is an open option for you.
And I just want to add in, and if you take summer school, it doesn't affect what your status is for fall semester. So you'll still be an incoming freshman for fall. So just to make sure that that's clear.
Thank you both. The next question, are students required to have a COVID booster? I can answer that at this time. No, they are not. That could obviously change, but at this time, no. So next question, when do we sign up for classes?
Class registration is going to be around mid-May for incoming freshmen and new transfer students as well too. You will be getting, or students will be getting a notification email, and I'll give instructions on how to register as well too. That typically will be sent out to students around after the May 1st tuition deposit deadline. So just expect maybe around the first or second week of May to get that information for registration later in May.
Great. Next question, a student is asking, can I submit my intent to enroll for approved deferment from spring 2023 using this QR code they got today? So I assume using the deposit waiver.
If you have an approved deferment already, I would recommend for you to email the manoa.admissions before submitting that form. So deferments are on a case-by-case basis, but if you are confirmed already, I would recommend for you to contact our admissions office because there's a special procedure for that. So manoa.admissions@hawaii.edu. You can see it's on the main screen here. We'll also put it in the chat.
Thank you. The next two questions are, will the classes be online or in person? And one student was also specifically asking about online or in person with our summer school classes, I guess, or the outreach college.
You know, right now, the plan is that majority of our courses are going to be looked to be in person, but we will still have an online option. So like I mentioned earlier, for this spring semester, we had about 60% were in person, 40% were online. And then we do have some courses that will be hybrid, where it will be both in person and online. The modality of that course will be taught the same way. So for fall semester, that is what we are looking at as well too, that students will have the option of being able to take in-person courses as well as online courses. But majority of them will be in person, and we do want our students to be on campus.
Great. Just to tie in another question, someone asked, is summer school only for current residents of Hawaii? So I'm assuming they're asking about the outreach college, and everyone's saying no.
No, it's open to non-residents as well too.
Okay, great. Another question, how will we buy our textbooks?
You can buy your textbooks online through the bookstore. So in the past, they had the ability, you could look at your courses to buy it from there. A recommendation though is for students to wait until they have their first day of classes, because the instructor or the professor will indicate what type of books they need, if they need the book. So sometimes it's better just to wait until school actually starts, and then they can conveniently buy that at the bookstore since they're already here. But if you do want to be proactive, you can order your textbooks online to the bookstore. That is an option available, but I would say pro tip is to wait until classes start, just so that you can get from the professor what is actually needed for that course.
Next question, a good one. What will the food be like? I do want to point out we were considered the best food in the nation by Forbes magazine, so obviously pretty good. I think it's delicious. Anyone else?
So I will try tackle part of it, the residential part of it at least. So our dining contract is with Sodexo. So that is our food provider here on campus. So the students will have an option if they are residing on campus, or even if you choose not to opt into a meal plan that varies in swipes. So they can range from 7 to up to 19 meals a week, where the student can go to our two All You Care to Eat facilities. So that is Haliloha Cafeteria and Gateway Cafeteria. During the week, you can also go up to the campus center food court, as well as other eateries that we do have on campus. For example, Starbucks, Subway, Jamba Juice, other places on campus that may use the meal plan as well.
And I will say there are options for food as well too. That if there are some that are vegan, there are some that are offered at each of our eateries that we do have on campus for students.
If any student does have strict dietary restrictions or health concerns about the meal plan just in general, I strongly encourage folks to speak to our registered dietitian, who's also the general manager for Sodexo. Her name is Donna. Fantastic, and they will individually work with the student to make sure that there are food options available and provided to them for every single meal that they offer throughout campus. So there is no too complicated case for them. We have obviously a registered dietitian and chefs who will specifically prepare items for our students.
Thank you. It's very helpful. Another question, someone wanted to know if all the chat links that were in the chat today going to be sent to attendees afterwards?
Yes, so the good news is that all the links that we're talking about today are in the New Warrior checklist that Kristen had went over. So after today's event, probably later in the week, we'll send that link, or I'm sorry, the link to the New Warrior checklist in there so you can follow all of the links that we talked about today. So no worries, we'll get all of these to you.
Thank you. And then a few people were asking, can students change their mind if they complete the intent to enroll form today?
Yes, you can. So the convenience of doing the form today, obviously, as Kristen mentioned, it bypasses the $200 tuition deposit at this time. If you submit it and down the line plans change and you will need to cancel your enrollment with us, you can do that. You can contact our Manoa admissions office, again, manoa.admissions@hawaii.edu, and we can help you through that process.
Thank you. The hottest question right now, most likes, is does the university partner with any travel partners for discounts for students and families?
Unfortunately, at this time, no. Pre-COVID, we did have some partnerships, but as we, I guess, are rebuilding back, at this time and for this upcoming year, we don't have any travel discounts, unfortunately, with any airlines or hotels.
Yeah, I will add that Southwest and Hawaiian Airlines do have a really good mileage program. So fortunately, it's kind of like every time I fly back home, I also get a free flight to a neighbor island. So there's perks to that. I've acquired quite a bit of points.
Kristen, a great tip there is for folks who are able and willing to do so is also getting some of those Hawaiian Airlines credit cards or even Southwest, where you can pay for tuition, pay for housing, and start accruing those miles in order to get your student to and from, specifically if that is a major hub for your student back on the continent. So certainly that is a tip from a previous parent. So certainly something exciting.
Yes, thank you. Oh, parking. It says, well, it just says parking. So parking on campus, how's that?
Parking on campus, to be quite honest, is limited. So students who are coming for the first time, so these are incoming freshmen or first-time transfer students, we don't recommend bringing a car or even purchasing a car in that first year. We are limited with space and limited with parking. The good news is that all students, as part of their tuition and fees, can take the public transportation for free. Our public transportation system is cleverly titled the bus. So students can take the bus around the island. We do have a shuttle that takes students around campus, and you can see some students taking, one of the Beaky bikes or have their own personal bikes or mopeds. So especially within that first year, we would recommend students not to bring a car over. Might be a little bit more of a headache. If you have to, most students try to park off campus, but again, that's also limited. We do live in a residential area, so we need to be cognizant of that.
Yeah, I will add that I've lived here for almost 10 years now, and I still don't own a car here. So I haven't had really any issue. I've seen the entire island time and time over again. I take the bus when necessary. The city is very walkable too, like safe. Also, there's a lot of street lights, especially in like Waikiki. And it's a great way to kind of like put yourself out there when you need a ride. You're forced to make new friends. But yeah, I've done really well out here without a car for almost 10 years. So I think I've saved a lot of money that way. Next question are one night overnight accommodations provided for families or prospective students who would like to visit campus before deciding to enroll.
So in terms of housing specifically for that, we currently do not have one night accommodations. So we do offer something called conference housing, but you have to be affiliated with the university. So if you've already committed to the university, we could probably try to work something out there, but just as a hotel, if you will stay, unfortunately we do not. But for conference housing, those specific guidelines, you can go on our housing website, and there's a tab specifically for conference housing.
Thank you, Kenny. The next question is, if my child is enrolled in early college with UH Manoa, do we still need to submit the $200 tuition deposit?
For that one, you're part of, if that's part of our Manoa Academy and so forth here at the university, then we are actually, you would not have to do that. We were going to be able to move that for you already at this point in time with the Manoa Academy student.
Great. The next question is, when and how do new freshmen take their placement exams?
So it's not required for all freshmen to take placement exams. It really comes down to the major. So some majors may require it. So what we would recommend is you can either get in touch with the department or major today at the expo or reach out to the advisors to find out whether or not a placement exam is needed. So some typical majors that could be like engineering, sometimes like taking a chemistry placement exam or a math placement exam, that's common. Some like health programs as well too. So it really depends. There are other instances, like if the student took AP courses, sometimes it might satisfy, a course and a placement exam is not needed. So basically it's best for the student to contact the academic advisor for their specific major, and they can either do that today in the expo or get their contact information and meet with them for a meeting.
Thank you. I will add the link for the placement exam website. Is now in the chat. Also, the Find My Advisor link is in the chat as well. So feel free to check on those to see if you need to do either as well. The next question is, my son is in the MIA program, which I believe is the Manoa Access Initiative program. What does that entail?
So for that program, it's just actually an excellent program for some students that are part of it. I think today, after we finish this session and then once we go out to the breakout rooms, there is going to be an office called the Student Equity, Excellence, and Diversity Office. That office, or SEED, as we call it, for start with their acronym, that's where you would have that conversation. They are the ones that run the MI program and the MAI program, and so they would be able to give you the best details.
Great, thank you. The next two look like they're for Kenny. Kenny, can students request to room with someone they know?
They can. What I would strongly encourage parents is, if this is your student's best friend, I would strongly encourage that they choose to live with a random person. Unless they have lived with this person for an extended period of time in a small space. It is my 20 years almost now of working in housing and residential life, that there is always some sort of a conflict, and you don't want to lose your roommate and your best friend. So I would suggest that they just live with someone who they don't know, to get to know another person on campus, and can still go and retreat and hang out with their best friend or classmate or whatever the case may be on campus still. So can you? Yes. And how you do that is both individuals need to have put each other as a requested roommate on their application and have the same preferences on placement for which communities they want to reside in. So both those things need to happen. Again, both of them need to be name, ID number on both applications, and they need to match, plus all the preferences need to line up. But again, please, if you can, try to convince them otherwise as much as possible.
Yes, rooming with strangers saves friendships. I'm saying that from experience.
Yes.
Next, dormitory life, so residence life. How many students are in a room? How's the room set up? Meals, fridge, microwave, etc.
Absolutely. So I will tackle a few of those pieces. Most of our communities are double occupancy. So there will be 2 people per room. And specifically, we'll talk about Hawai'i Aloha, as a majority of the folks probably are first-year students. So there are 26 people on the floor. Each room has 2 people. Currently, we do not have a program that has mini fridges or microwaves available in rooms, nor can they be rented on campus at the moment. So folks will need to bring those with them for when they come to campus. In terms of room setup, most of them are pretty just standard square room, 2 beds. You can go onto our website. We have pretty cool 360 views that you can drag and click and see different pieces and see different views of the residence hall rooms. With that being said, we do have a variety of different options available for our students. So it does depend on what you are looking for, kind of which community you're choosing in your preferences. So I hope that answered the question. Room type setup, yeah, you can, we do not do lofts here. A lot of institutions on the continent, you can raise your bed above your head so you can put your desk underneath that. That is not allowed here in Hawaii. So what we do is you can still configure your space however you want to within the confines of leaving everything in the space. And as long as no windows or doors are blocked, you're good to go.
Great, thank you. The next question is, I am already approved for financial aid. What's the detailed procedure? Jody?
So I would suggest the first thing to do is to go to our website, and there is a tab button, I guess, where it says get started, steps to financial aid. And under that, you can look at the financial aid offer checklist. There's an accept or decline your financial aid offer, and then completing the loan process that you can look at. And then if you still have questions, like I said, please feel free to then ask your questions either by email or meet on the virtual front desk.
Great, thank you. The next question, which a lot of people upvoted, is I'm moving to Hawaii from the mainland. Shipping items versus buying local, etc.
So I will tackle this one as well. I strongly encourage folks to buy stuff here, primarily for a few different reasons. One, the sales tax is much cheaper in Hawaii than it is anywhere on the continent, especially for folks in the Bay Area of California. It's extremely expensive. It's much cheaper here. We're at 4.73%. So I strongly encourage that. Every major store that you can think of is available here as well. We have Costco, we have Sam's, we have Target, Walmart, the general places, Bed Bath & Beyond, that folks can buy items here. When you go to, there will be informational flyers where there are also options for you to buy linens through a program that we call on-campus marketing, OCM, where your linens and towels, all of that stuff, your toiletries will already be purchased and here for you when you arrive on campus. So that is a neat opportunity to do that. But again, I strongly encourage folks to wait till they come to Hawaii, wait till you're able to communicate with your roommate before you're buying 2 mini fridges and 2 TVs and 2 fill in the blank. So strongly encourage that. For shipping items, some folks want to ship clothes so they don't have to fly with a lot of it, things like that. We ask that no items get to campus earlier than 1 week prior to your move-in day. Reason being, we just don't have the physical capacity space-wise to hold items for 3,000 students for 2.5 weeks, right? So that's what we kind of ask for in terms of shipping items here, but also buying things here is convenient. Since we're going back to pre-COVID stuff, we will have a trip that will take students out to Walmart and Target. So there is a Walmart shuttle that takes students every hour just continuously to a local Walmart, and they can walk across the street to Target to buy any last minute things that they may need for their residence hall room.
Great. I will add, I moved here with 2 suitcases right at the 50-pound mark of clothes. And then I just put all my heavy shoes in my backpack for the carry-on so they wouldn't be weighed. And I just brought like a few little mementos and pictures to kind of decorate my room. And like if I missed home, I could like look at it. So that was more important to me. Everything else I bought here, all the regular items you need, because you can find it here. The next question, do parents need a MyUH account?
No, the MyUH account is only for students anyways. So parents, you will just have to communicate with your student on getting some information from them regarding anything with their MyUH account.
And that's a big one that you mentioned there, Abby, is that throughout this process, please communicate with your student, because it's not just the MyUH account that's set up, but there's other pieces of information that we send, not only us in admissions, but Jody in financial aid, even Kenny in housing, that will go directly to the student. So please stay in communication with your student. They will be getting the emails, and it's not always sent to the parent. We try to include the parent, but the student gets a lot of these emails. So please stay in communication with your student about what these emails are that we're sending.
Yes, please check your Hawai'i.edu and your personal email, both. You can also check your spam in case it goes in there. I would recommend checking that once in a while too. The next question is, I already paid the $200 deposit a month ago. I couldn't find the intent to enroll at the time. Do I still have to submit the intent form?
No, you're all good. You actually did all of the checklist items beforehand, so congratulations. The $200 deposit is your intent to enroll, so you are all good to go.
Great. The next question is, who would I contact if we're going to use our post 9/11 GI Bill for tuition and residence housing?
So that one, the person that you should contact is our Office of the Registrar. They are the ones that work with all of our veterans and especially the veteran benefits. So please contact them. I think we have that. Yeah, one of our moderators did put up that link into the chat room. So please go visit them.
Thank you. The next question, also upvoted a lot. Many students will not hear that they're admitted from other colleges until March or April. If our child chooses to go to UH, but doesn't submit the intent to enroll until after she hears from all of those colleges she applied to, will it be hard for her or him to get housing at UH?
So if you apply by May 1st, and you have submitted your intent to register, pay the $200, you're going to be guaranteed housing. Again, by May 1st. Anything after May 1st is going to be on space availability on a first come, first served basis. So we strongly encourage that once you know you want to come here, that you sign up. Because for example, in the expo, I will be sharing about residential learning programs. For example, if you're in some of those highly competitive ones, if you apply late April, you may be further down on that list than if you apply earlier. So it honestly, you have to weigh out your options, but if you apply by May 1st and you've completed your intent to register, pay the $200 deposit, you're guaranteed a spot to live on.
Thank you, Kenny. The next question, this is for Jody. Why is my parent loan more than my student loan?
So whether you consider, unfortunately, the federal financial aid program feels that the parents are the main people that should be assisting their son or daughter as far as paying for their higher education. That's why on the FAFSA, it does ask for parental information also as far as income, that kind of things. So basically the federal financial aid program doesn't want to overburden the student with so much in loans starting off so young in their lives. So yeah, the majority of it is in the form of the parent loan. The student loans is based on their year in college. So as a freshman, the maximum that students can get in the federal direct loan program is $5,500. It does go up a little bit as they progress in their college education, but still throughout their 4 years in college, it will be the parent loan that will be the bigger loan typically. And you're not required to take out the full amount of the parent loan. If you are paying for things out of pocket, don't take out the full parent loan. Just think, you know, you got to do this every year. So whatever you can pay out of pocket, try and reduce the amount of your parent loan. But if you do need the parent loan, it's there for you folks to assist with your son or daughter's education.
Thank you, Jody. The next question, is it possible to defer enrollment for a full year? On our website, it just says it's for a single term.
Yep, so deferments are only for a semester and only under like extenuating circumstances as well too. So unfortunately, there's no option for a year-long deferment.
Great, thank you, Abby. The next question, which was just previously answered, who at UH can help me access the GI Bill to pay for my tuition and expenses? That will be with our registrar office. So we can put that information in the chat as well. The next question is for Kenny. If a student living in the residence tests positive for COVID, what are the protocols? Do they need to move out?
Sure. So they do not need to move out. So here's, I'll try to make the process as clear for you all as possible. I do this on a daily basis, so I know the process fairly well. So if a student has symptoms, they will be put into an isolation space. So they will be asked to pack items for 5 to 7 days. We will move them into a residence hall community that gives them a private bathroom, private bedroom. They will stay there until their test comes back. So we use PCR tests through our health center. So if the student is not positive, they will be turned back to their community. If a student does test positive, currently the student will then go to an off-site hotel that is covered by the university while they continue the quarantine process or isolation process. So they will be there, they will get provided meals. We will have daily check-ins with the student to make sure they are doing well. Our nursing students will also reach out to them to check symptoms and some of those pieces. So we have a variety of different steps. So just someone who has symptoms, someone who is positive, we have different steps in how we navigate that. So what we strongly encourage is that everyone is up to date with their booster. If you have been boosted in the last 6 months and become a close contact, you do not have to isolate. Versus if you have been longer than 6 months, you will. So that's why while the booster shot is not required, it is strongly encouraged for our students to have that. So that kind of answers it. So we have those multi-pronged approach for COVID cases on campus. So students will not move out. Students cannot quarantine in their individualized rooms because of the community nature of our residence halls, plus the fact that almost no residence halls have a bathroom in a unit.
Great, thank you. The next question is for Jody. I'm going to combine 2 questions. So when should we hear back regarding scholarships and financial aid, and when will scholarship awardees be announced?
So, so for financial aid, we have begun the process. So if your son or daughter hasn't received a financial aid offer, check with our office. As far as scholarships, the New Warrior scholarships, I believe they are working on that currently, and hopefully within the next few weeks that those offers will be sent out to the students. As far as other scholarships, such as our STAR scholarships, the UH system scholarships, it can be as early as April, as late as the beginning of the semester. It's all over the place. Different departments review those scholarships. So it's an ongoing process throughout from April through the summer. So those are kind of how we do our scholarships. So as they come out, we notify the students.
Thank you. The next question I'm going to tie into is, are all scholarship deadlines passed, or have they all closed, especially for non-native and local Hawaii residents, which is pretty much everyone? Are there any remaining scholarships?
So the big ones that we know of, which is the STAR Scholarship and the U8 System Scholarship, those have closed. Different colleges and departments might have potentially some that are extended, but you would need to reach out. And then looking at local scholarships in your community, in your area, those you would have to check. And like I said, you can go to our website and look under scholarships, see if it'll give you some ideas of what's available still yet.
Thank you, Jody. The next question, do students have to be living on campus to take online classes?
No, online classes can be taken at by any student, as long as you find the class that is online that you want to be able to enroll in. That's fine. Anyone can take it.
Great, thank you. The next question, how easy is it to change majors? It is very possible to change majors here at our school. You're not locked into your major that you choose. Even for our WUI students that are getting WUI tuition at our school, the great thing is that you're not locked into that major. You can change your major and still qualify for WUI if you're from a WUI state west of the Rockies for the most part. But you're not locked into your major. If you want to change your major now, just email us by April. And if you want to change it at a later date, then you'll just talk to your major advisor and they'll help you change your major, add another major, add a certificate or a minor. They'll help you with all of that. Anyone else?
Just to add in there, if you're trying to change your major before the fall semester starts, depending on the program that you want to get into, there could be a delay in it. So for example, if you are a psychology major and you decide to go to engineering, that does require your file to be looked at the College of Engineering, so it'll take a bit of time. So prior to coming in to change your major, it depends on the degree program that you want to change it to. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. We also recommend that if you are planning to change your major, to do it before May, because registration begins in late May. So if you're changing your major close to that point and it requires to go to a different department, it might not be changed in time for your registration. So just keep that in mind. It's possible to change, but know that it could take some time to do it prior to the school year starting. Now, after the school starts, let's say you're a freshman, you change your mind. Yes, you do have that opportunity to meet with your academic advisor and your new academic advising department to change your major as well too. So there are different, depending on when you want to do it, there could be a different timeline.
Thank you, Abby. The next question for Kenny, how hard is it to get housing, and do you guarantee housing for mainland or outer island students?
Is it hard? No, if you apply by May 1st. The later you apply, you may not get your first or second choice in housing preferences, but you will get a space. So we do have a priority system, and that's based off of the border region. So we have essentially a list on how those happen. But again, if you apply by May 1st, you'll be guaranteed a spot.
Thank you, Kenny. The next question is, does the intent to enroll form mean a definitive yes or just a likely, very likely chance to attend? It means, yes, you're coming here, you're committed. Anyone else want to add anything?
Yeah, we're taking it as a yes, and that you're confirming for the fall. But as mentioned earlier, if your plan to change or you do change your mind, you do have the opportunity to change that. But when you do submit it, we're taking it as you are committed to coming to the university.
And what Abby means by that is also that the communication that will come from our office will change, and it will be focused on that you are committed to focused and committed to the University of Hawai'i Manoa. And so we'll be sending you emails that will help you to transition through that time until you step foot here on campus.
Thank you. The next question, I know we answered this in the presentation, but can freshmen have cars on campus?
So, I mean, it's kind of depends on how we answer. So can they? Yes. Should they? Not recommended, just because, again, as we mentioned, parking is very limited on campus, and the parking passes are given by seniority, right? So, you know, the seniors, the juniors, the sophomores, so the continuing students have an opportunity to reserve those passes. So when it gets down to freshmen, especially incoming freshmen, those are very limited. So I wouldn't plan on having your freshmen have a car as stated earlier.
Especially if they choose to live on campus, there are very limited spots around our residence halls.
Yeah.
One, two, they are also very expensive. So folks typically try to park off campus. In neighborhoods, I would not encourage it because there is crime. Obviously, we are in a metropolitan city. So I would encourage folks to, again, use the public transportation as much as possible, especially early on.
Thank you. The next few questions, I'm sorry, Kenny, they're all for you. If you can just answer them briefly so we can get through all of them. I'm going to start with can parents move in their student?
Yes. So even during COVID, we would allow students to have 2 guest helpers. So again, we give 3 wristbands per student. So the student plus 2 parents or 2 helpers to move into the residence hall.
Thank you. And then can you live on campus for more than 1 year?
Yes, we have students who live on campus up to graduate school, students with families, all of that. So you can live with us multiple years.
Thank you. And can you choose or request your roommate?
You can. Excuse me, you can choose or request a roommate. We strongly encourage it not to be someone who you're best friends with.
Are students room together on campus? What is the COVID protocol? I know you went into that in depth in our previously, but if you want to cover that just really quickly.
Very quickly, yep. So most of our residence halls are double occupancy, and we do have a pretty extensive COVID protocol on campus. So the only thing that we strongly encourage students to do is if they are feeling sick, please let somebody know. And then we will take it from there with the communication on getting them to the appropriate place in our process.
Thank you. And then also following up with housing, are you rooming students together that are compatible with each other?
So we do not use a roommate pairing metric because those typically don't work because people aren't always the most honest on those, or sometimes the parents fill them out, so on and so forth. So we will go completely random, again, very much for the idea of learning or living with someone who is completely different from yourself.
Thank you, Kenny. How is security at the residence hall?
Sure. So we have a variety, sorry, I'm talking very quickly so we can get to a lot of these questions. We have a variety of different systems in place. So every residence hall has a door that you need a key card to get in. You need a key card to go up the elevator or the stairwell. A key card again to go up into your actual bedroom. So there are a variety of different safety mechanisms in terms of getting into our buildings. We do have RAs who do rounds of our community. We have the Department of Public Safety, as well as HPD, who we partner with to make sure that our residence halls in our community is safe collectively, but there are more of them than there are of us. So we strongly encourage folks, similar to the airport, you see something, say something, so that we can certainly follow up and make sure that our buildings and communities are safe.
Thank you. This one ties into one you previously answered. Can parents actually enter the residence halls during move-in?
On move-in day itself, absolutely. Any day after move-in, currently as of March 5th, the answer is no.
Great, thank you. And then this question got liked by a lot of people. Does each residence hall have a dining hall? Where is the laundry room? How much does laundry cost? And is it paid with coins or a card? I know that was a lot.
Yep, no worries. So each residence hall does not have a dining hall. So we have 2 dining halls on campus. And they're about a 3-minute walk from one another, so very close. Gateway currently offers breakfast and lunch, and Haliloha will offer dinner. So in our traditional residence halls. Laundry facilities, every community will have one, whether on the roof or in the basement or the first floor. So students will be able to use that via a wash app. You can put on your phone. You can add money electronically, so you don't have to do the whole quarter business or finding cash business. And it's a pretty neat thing. So it tells you how many washers and dryers are available and how much time you have left. Wash is $2 and dry is $1.50.
Thank you, Kenny. Sorry, you have so many questions. Is it difficult to get into a specialized housing community?
It is not difficult. You just have to apply very early. Because we do use the date that you have submitted your intent to register, paid your $200 deposit, and your housing application as our metric to kind of rank and prioritize folks. So once all of that stuff is complete, we will put you on that list.
Thank you. And then the next question is, how or where do students store their household goods? for their residents over the summer when they are not on campus? Do they store them in a unit in Honolulu, or do they fly them home?
Most of our students do not fly things home. They will work with their current roommate or roommates for next year to get a storage unit on island and store things there. We have connections with a lot of different folks who can even come and pick them up from your residence hall, for example, if you don't have a vehicle or haven't made a friend who can take them over. So there's a long list of storage units that are really close to campus or some that are a little further out that can store items for our students.
Thank you. And then I'll just ask last two and then give you a little breath of air. Is housing guaranteed for all 4 years?
Guaranteed is an interesting word. So if you continue in good standing and you submit all of your different requirements for the years progressing, yes, you can be with us all 4 years. So we have a process called renewal, which we're going through currently. So for students who currently live with us who want to come back the next year. So if you apply in time, make your payments on time, all that jazz, you will be able to stay with us consecutive years.
Thank you. And then the next question was, what percentage of students or upperclassmen typically live on campus?
A vast majority. So Haliloha, for example, is our only community that is strictly first years, and that's about 2,500. Everything else is open to any class standing. So we do have a good number of folks who are all over the place. So yes, you can, and it's, yeah.
Oh, thank you. And then just, sorry, last question, because it ties it in. How do they request a move-in appointment?
Sure, that will be emailed to the student. It's through a system called Sign Up Genius. So the student, once they have paid the deposit, once they are confirmed, we will email that out to them and they will be able to pick an appointment for their specific move-in time.
Thank you so much. I do want to add that I'm going to be hosting a Warrior webinar on March 23rd, I believe, and Kenny will be there with me, so he'll be going over this again, and you guys have the opportunity to ask him for other questions as well. So I'm going to let Kenny take a little break for a second. The next question is, can you withdraw after enrolling into the college?
Yes. So if you want to cancel your new enrollment before the semester starts, that's available. But like, let's say the semester has started, you've taken some classes and you did want to withdraw, there is a process for that. And you could do that with our registrar's office.
Thank you. And will students be receiving copies of these slides?
This presentation is going to be recorded and we will send the recording by the end of the week. So you'll have a copy of all of these.
Thank you. The next question is, can students submit their health form anytime before August 1st?
Yes.
Yes, they can, and we encourage them to submit that as soon as possible. Especially if they are going to be enrolling with us at the university, please do those health forms as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. The next question for Jody, what is the deadline date to accept financial aid offers?
So our communication does say 30 days, but for incoming students, we do wait until after the May 1st deadline to determine if you plan on enrolling or not. If you do accept it at this point and then decide later on that you don't plan on attending, that's not a problem either. So you can go ahead at this point and accept, and then let us know later that you don't plan on attending. And we'll also get that information from the admissions office also.
Great, thank you. The next question is there work available for students?
Yep, student employment is available and encouraged. If your student can work, it's very convenient. They only work a maximum of 20 hours a week. And there's a lot of different jobs available on campus. I can take a quick look to see if student employment is going to be in the expo today. You can get more information from them, but absolutely, there are student jobs available.
And especially for those students who are on federal work study, we do encourage them to work with us on campus if that's part of their financial aid award.
Great, thank you. We're going to move in.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go, Joy.
If any son or daughter wants to work in financial aid, we're all hiring.
Shameless plug, yes. And Manoa Career Center is going to be at the expo today. So please, if you have a student that is interested in working on campus, you can get more information from them and probably even tips because students can start applying a few weeks even before the semester starts, and that's probably the best time to take a look at jobs that might be available.
Thank you. We're going to move into the last two questions so that we can have time to wrap up. The next question is, are students allowed to go back and request more financial aid? If so, how do they do that?
So I would first meet with a financial aid counselor, so go through our virtual front desk and explain what you're trying to do so that they can get an idea of what the next steps are. So that would be the first. I would start with that.
Great, thank you. And then the next question is there free transportation available for students living off campus?
If you're living off campus, yes, because you still have access to the bus, right, on your card. So yeah, that's also available even if you don't live in the residence halls.
Thank you,
There's
Abby.
also the Rainbow Shuttle, sorry, Kristen, the Rainbow Shuttle, currently, because we are just starting to go back to in-person, is restricted to mostly residential life right now. But if we go back to we call BC before COVID, there are some shuttles that will take you around the Manoa community as well that will drop students off. All you need to do is just show your ID and you'll get on the shuttle to take you into the surrounding communities.
Thank you. Okay, folks, that was our last question, all we have time for today, but do not worry. We will be assembling a list with your questions and our answers after this webinar and emailing it to you by the end of the week so you can view them on your own. Thank you again for joining our parent Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with us with one of the contacts on the screen. You can also, again, watch this recording. It will be available for you by the end of the week to see the answers to our questions again. The third portion of our event is going to begin shortly. The third part of this reception is the expo. This will require you to leave this Zoom session. So let me give you some directions on how to do that. Once you exit this meeting, it will lead you to the expo. You will also be able to see the link for that expo in the chat. Your page should look something similar to what you see on my screen. Each tile you see represents a booth where you can interact with other departments. You may click on the tile to find out more information about what each booth offers. The expo was created so that you and your students can have one-on-one time with different departments and our school. If you have any specific questions about financial aid, housing, admissions, etc., please visit the booth for more information. All of the speakers today, they will have departments representing at the expo for you to talk to as well. We are going to stay here for a few minutes in case anyone has any issues or directional questions. There's also an event info and help booth you can visit for assistance throughout the expo. Thank you again so much for joining today, and we hope to see you in the fall. Bye, thank you.